guys, welcome to Dubai. We're right here in front of Burj Al Arab Hotel, which I believe is called the only 6-star hotel in the world. Pretty maxed out destination, so why not try and review a maxed out snus today. Today we're looking at Granit Maxad by Fiedler and Lundgren. This one, the series, has been around since 2004, I believe. And Fiedler and Lundgren, of course, been around since the early 19th century, so this is a pretty new one from them. They're also making Lundgren's Mocca and Blå. And in the Granit series, you've got the original portions, the white portions. There are some called sensations now as well, which is mint and licorice. They also have some strong ones in there. This one is kind of like a strong one because the whole thing about the Maxad is that the portions are extra big. So in this one you only get 18 portions, but the portions are 1.17 grams each. And then the nicotine comes up to 12 milligrams per portion. So they're relatively strong. So it's like a strong snus because of the maxed out characteristics of it. Taste-wise, they should be a traditional tobacco flavor with a little bit of spiciness, saltiness, and possibly a little bit of bergamot there. So we'll see if it's anywhere close to maybe the general, or anything like the Lundgren's actually, because Lundgren's has a bit of a specific character, although it's still a traditional snus. So this is actually kind of an old can. I think they look a bit different now, so I'll show the new one to you as well. This one has a small catch lid. I believe that the new ones are pretty maxed out on the catch lids as well, but that's what my can for now looks like, with a Granit Maxad Portion Svensk snus here. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, original portions, looking pretty big. Let's look at the actual portion here. The 18 portion, but 1.17 grams. I think that's about as big as you're ever going to get in a portion snus. It's like, it'll be like having a loose snus in there. I mean, look at that. If you fluff it up, it's going to look ridiculous. You don't need to do that. If you like a big, stiff upper lip, then this is the one to go for. See? Yeah, that's a full stiff upper lip right there. Tastes very nice so far. Really mellow. It doesn't smell like General, but it doesn't smell like Lundgren's either. It's actually does have its own little twist to the bergamot flavor. It's quite sweet, but it's quite mellow. It does have some spiciness to it. I like it, but it's a little bit different to General, but still not like the Lundgren's. So let's try to find a nice location here in Dubai for the second part of the review. Me and my wife are just recovering from the norovirus, so just taking it easy today, but hopefully this evening we'll get some nice evening footage for the second part of this Maxad review.
Burj Khalifa, Dubai Mall.
Hi and welcome. See my boat down here? Yeah, I wish. We are now down at Dubai Marina for the second part of this maxed out review of Granit Maxad, in collaboration as usual with snus24.com, and they are carrying the whole Granit line, so go and check them out. Yesterday evening we were at the Dubai Fountain and Burj Al Khalifa, which is more maxed out than this, but I couldn't film there because it's way too noisy. But I'll show you some footage right here from it while I talk about this snus. So about this one, when it comes to the maxed out properties of it, it is really big under the lip, so if you like that and still don't want like a loose snus, that's good. For me personally, I like that feel, but I would normally just go with a loose in that case. And for the feel of this, when you walk around, it's quite noticeable, so not brilliant when I'm out. So for me, it's not really a plus, but if you like that, Sure, that's great. It's also a little bit cheaper than some of the other ones, like Lundgren's, for instance, is more expensive, Skruf and General. So if you're looking at the traditional flavors here, I wouldn't say it tastes like General, for instance. It's more generic than Skruf, and it's more generic than Lundgren's. So if you look at Fiedler and Lundgren's snus, they have the Lundgren's, which has its own taste. If you look at Skruf, they have Skruf, which is more unique as well. But then the Skruf brand, they go down to the Nox brand, and there it is more generic. And this one would be Fiedler and Lundgren's slightly more generic brand, I would say. Personally, I prefer Nox a little bit to this one, and I would actually compare this a little bit more to Smålands. So, because it has that slight sweetness to it. It doesn't taste exactly like Smålands, but there's a definite sweetness to it. It's a little bit herbal. This one, I would say, goes slightly sweet and grassy and herbal, but not sweetgrass. It's not that sort of sweet grass, but definitely a little bit grassy. It does remind me slightly of Phantom actually as well, but it's definitely not as bad as Phantom. Phantom goes a little bit glue-like, weird. Don't like that one very much. This is much more solid, and it does last quite a long time under the lip. There's no problem with the flavor release. It's not dripping too much. It is a little bit salty. It's quite mellow, but it does have a quite solid, mellow, long-lasting taste that it's traditional but quite generic with a little bit of sweetness. So for its price, it's fine. Personally, I would go with something like Nox in the sort of more generic, traditional bergamot category myself. So yeah, I would compare it with something like Smålands, and I would rate it around the same as Smålands as well. So it's perfectly fine. You have to take into consideration, of course, the price as well. But definitely not as good as Lundgren's, in my opinion. I think this is a little bit more generic. Something that it's fine, it works for me, but there are others I would go back to, like Taboka, Nox, those ones when it comes to that price category personally. But I think you should try it because it has got a slightly different twist to those. It's that sweetness, that grassiness. It's a little bit hard to put your finger on exactly what it is. Slightly cloying, I would call this one, but it's okay. It's definitely an okay snus. And if you like the maxed out properties of it, why not? And you're not a loose snoozer. So I would rate this one a 5 out of 10, right in the middle there. I like that it's a traditional flavor with a little bit of a twist. It's pretty solid. So that's all from Dubai this time. We're now going back to Bahrain, and then in a couple of days time I'll be back in the UK editing this video, which I look forward to. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Please subscribe if you like the videos. Thanks. Bye.